Episode
4.
BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed ahoy hoy. Welcome one and all to episode 654 of BRB UK. I am Dan, I'm one of your hosts. Good day, good evening to all of you out there, wherever you may be. Hope you're having a marvellous Thursday, because I've had a distinctly average one. So someone's got to bring it up so that it's a slightly better than average Thursday for humankind as a whole. I'm rambling, so I should probably introduce someone else. Tell you what, who I'm going to introduce. I'm going to introduce Coleman. Hello, Coleman.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Yes.
All you need.
And
That's all you need.
so,
I'm all right.
so all I need. It's all I need. Okay, so Coleman's all right. Tim.
Probe no deeper.
Tim. I don't want to deeply probe Tim, but you know,
Probe no
kinda.
deeper.
I don't want you
Doctor.
to deeply probe me. Just because it's been your birthday. No need for birthday treats.
Hey, that's not what you said. How are you?
I'm
Birthday
good.
dick sucking.
I'm stupidly tired, having a very long work day yesterday, and did not play the video game I was hoping to talk about today. But I have played something at least.
Well,
so-
on the bright side, everyone gets 40 minutes of their life back that they would have otherwise
So,
lost because
that's all
Tim
good.
had played the
But
video
I had
game.
a pretty good day today, so
Did you?
that's okay.
What made your day
Gives you
good?
something for another day.
I had some very, very good and very nice compliments from customers, one of which I'd stayed late to do stuff for yesterday, but they were very appreciative of. So it kind
Well,
of,
you
made
are the
things
finest
nice.
rent lad in Muswell Hill after
I
all.
was
of
going to
those.
say, as we know, Tim is a gigolo by trade. Good.
Nice.
I like it. I like
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
it.
Yes,
Video games?
I think
Yes,
we
let's do that.
probably should. I think that would be
Let's.
very sensible. Let's, because we've all kind of slightly played things this week to a varying degree of actual playedness. And I think we're going in reverse order of who sunk time and stuff. So, Tim,
Okay.
you're a big fan of the puzzle games. You're a big
I
fan
am
of the
indeed.
VR and VR adjacent larks. And I believe this ticks many of those boxes because it's
Yes.
Lumines Arise.
First of all, I'd just like to confirm it is the demo. That's the first thing. Secondly, I'd like to confirm that I think you got it right, Dan, but for us not pronouncing this game necessarily correctly in the past, I will report back that having listened to an interview with the devs, it's certainly pronounced luminous, as in a bit like luminos, as in luminosity kind of thing, but luminous. But Lumines Arise is the latest version of their game. There is a demo out on PlayStation 5 and I believe PC, but not for you dirty Xbox oiks for some reason.
Because everything's an Xbox, Tim.
Everything's an Xbox, so it doesn't matter.
And exclusives are old news, apparently. They're
apparently
you know,
so. Apparently
they're
so.
old news.
But for anyone who doesn't know,
Sorry, I think it's because this game's going to be limited time release on PlayStation 5.
right, that
before
makes sense.
Xbox.
You would
they,
live
did,
back.
they did the same with Well, they did the same with Tetris Effect, and then it came
Yeah.
to Game
And-
Pass.
The studio has a bit of a history with PlayStation stuff
Yes.
as well. Luminous used to be on PlayStation Portable, maybe PSP.
Yes, it did.
For that as well, but and it was a very good fit for that. Anyone doesn't know, the original Luminous was on a game that actually got created because the creator didn't get the license to Tetris to make a musical-based Tetris game, and this is what they came out with instead. It was such a good game that they eventually got the Tetris license and made Tetris Connected. So this is a kind of follow-on from the Luminous game, but also a follow-on from Tetris Connected in so much as that it is a musical-based puzzle game. But it also feels like they've taken some of the stuff that they've learned from Tetris and translated that over, and also they've kind of leveled up their music game a little bit in terms of the tracks that are available as well. Although I used to love the Luminous soundtracks as well, so it's not exactly exclusive to the Tetris thing as well. But yeah,
So I kind of seem to remember Lumines as kind of like having like, and I'm showing my age here.
Yeah.
You know, kind of a lot like the dance and the dance tracks of the day or remixes
Yes.
of them in the background. And they kind of were an integral part of the gameplay, and I'm assuming that kind of continues here.
Well, I don't know if it was ever the case whether they had, licensed music of existing tunes. I think they've always had their own individual soundtracks, as far as I am aware.
I've got a distinct Pet Shop Boys memory for some reason.
That's just the 80s.
Yeah, you're thinking of the 80s then. But yeah,
I had a very strange life as a 6-year-old.
But yeah, anyway, so the demo itself has 3 levels of this very good matching puzzle game that's a bit different to your kind of standard match 3 because you've got to match 4 squares or more at once. The demo has 3 different levels with 3 different tunes that you go from one to the other, transitioning from the through. And right, it's a bit of a shame because the demo is obviously limited to an extent, but because it's only got those 3 songs, you kind of feel like you've just got into the groove and just get into that synesthesia state and then it kind of ends abruptly and you're like, oh, okay, it's just that point. But obviously there are areas of the game when doing it, where you do have a more limited attack run type stuff or time attack type thing. But this feels like it kind of ends slightly abruptly, so it's a bit of a shenanigans. But there does seem to be a score it gives you at the end and an assessment type thing. There is also a multiplayer mode available, although I only got to try that out very briefly because most of the times I tried the matchmaking was not making me a match. So that didn't work a couple of times that I tried it. And it only worked just as I was quite tired and going to bed last night. So I got a chance to play that briefly. But there's again some guy called No Chill, and I can tell you that he was not chill when it came to playing this nice chill puzzle game. He absolutely obliterated me, made massive crystals. He was serving up big crystals like he was Walter White. But yeah, that. So my multiplayer did not go necessarily well. But
on the bright side, he has no teeth. So, you're the winner
not necessarily
at the end of the day.
a great game. No, not necessarily great at the game, but a game that I really love. It's also feels like it's a good game that for player empowerment until you go online and get your ass kicked by someone else.
To be fair, that describes just about, and I'll get onto this in a little bit, every online game I've ever played ever.
Yeah, exactly. So
just makes me
welcome
doubt
to
myself.
Online, basically. You know, every fighting game, every first-person shooter thing. I think it's safe to say none of us are necessarily competitive gamers, but nevertheless,
I'll tell you a good game to play online that doesn't happen with. And that's Wheel of Fortune. I had a lot of fun playing that online in COVID.
There's not a heavy competitive Wheel of Fortune.
I had endless entertainment out of one person I was playing against, and they tried to guess the word, and they round it down. They waited for the time to go down to the last second, and they wrote the word flaps. Fun times.
Okay, good time. But yeah, the major mechanic that they've added to this
I would have used the word. I would have used the word flange. Yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe clunge.
Ooh, good word.
What I would have done. It's a good word. Anyway, Tim, you were saying.
Yeah, as I say, the major mechanic they've added to this game allows you to kind of pause things for a second.
What?
You still get to do falling blocks, and it still disappears things as the time goes. But whatever color you first match, it kind of allows you to build up a bigger and bigger crystal to disappear, but also move some of the blocks out of the way as well. And you get a certain time period where you can drop a load of blocks in, and it will move some up to the top of the screen to get them out of the way, and then you can kind of make a massive kind of crystal to disappear. So it feels a bit like that's a mechanic they borrowed out of Tetris. I wish they also borrowed the mechanic to have one thing that you can set to one side and then come back to later. I think that would really benefit this game, and I think that is one thing I feel that's missing in comparison to Tetris. But generally, Lumines is a game that I've loved for years, really enjoy it. This seems like it's going to be a good version of that game. And the 3 tunes that are in there, I've really enjoyed, and I'm really looking forward to the major game. There is going to be a VR component. There isn't to the demo, as far as I'm aware. I don't think that's available yet. And I'm not sure that's going to be available at launch. But there is also a discount for pre-ordering at the moment. So if you're interested in the game, you might want to do that. I am almost certainly going to do that with this game because VR or not, I really like this one. It's a really nice chilled puzzle game. with a musical element that I really enjoy, and I think this is going to be a good version of it.
I have a question, and it is
Yes.
actually a question. Steam Deck?
Yes, it is available on PC. I do think it would be a good fit for the Steam Deck. I'm in two minds.
Because I played a lot of this on my Vita, I have to say, and the PSP before that.
Yes, yeah, it was on Vita and PSP as well, I think. But yeah, but right, I'm in two minds because I like the idea of like Tetris Connected was great in VR. I think this will be really good in VR. So I think I'll probably buy it on that to start with, and then I might double dip and buy it on Steam Deck further down the line, just because I think that'll be more likely to go cheaper on sale in the future. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to have to buy it on PlayStation to start with, just because of the VR component. But I think it'd be a very good fit for the Steam Deck. And if in your position, Dan, I think that would be the option to go for.
Yes, because VR makes me sad.
No.
It does.
I was having a quick look on the Q&A page, and they say that it's not verified for Steam Deck yet, but they're aiming for it to work on Steam Deck. That's going to have their own options for it.
That's another reason.
That's some good investigative journalism. Congratulations, Coleman.
You're welcome. Optimization is the word I was looking for, but
Yes. So I might have a little look at that. And is the demo out on PC as well, or is it just PlayStation for the demo?
It's PC as well.
Yeah, I think it's out
is
on
it
PC.
Sweet?
Pretty sure it's on Steam.
Yeah, I don't imagine it would be, because Tim, I have to admit that after your rambling last week, I did go out and purchase several things that you said.
Ball Pit being one of them.
Ball Pits, that's a good game. I like that game.
That is a good game. Like, I have put too many hours into that game this week, I can tell you. One of the reasons, like, I like the last few days, I would have played, if I had the chance, Ninja Gaiden 4, but I didn't in the last couple of days. But I also didn't play any Ghost of Yotei this week because I put all my gaming time into Ball Pit, and I've unlocked all but the last level now, basically.
Nice.
And yeah, that continues to be a great game, and there are some very surprising upgrades without giving you any spoilers. But that game loop is great. I'm loving that game so far.
That's a good time, and I'm been enjoying all like it does kind of, as you said, borrows quite nicely from a bunch of other things in the similar genre, like your evolutions and stuff that you get from Battlefield Survivors. So curse you, Tim, you're going to make me spend more money.
The one thing that I didn't reference that I actually think is an influence on the gameplay that I didn't actually reference when I was talking about it last week is, oddly enough, pinball. I think it's got origins in pinball a little bit as well. But as I said, great game. And it goes deeper and deeper and still maintains the quality all along the way. I'm enjoying that even more the further I've got into the game. So yeah, I strongly recommend.
Lovely.
So Lumines Arise, that's coming to PC and PlayStation 5 on the 11th of November for $32.99.
That's some money. So something that I have picked up, and this was I was slightly cajoled into this.
Right.
Kevin and Jamie, you know who you are. Because I remember fondly back when I had reflexes, I had moderately good times with Battlefield 3 and Battlefield Bad Company.
In the 1920s?
Yes, I did. Yes, it was actually World War One. My Battlefield experience, Tim.
Doing rhythm games via gramophone.
Yes, exactly. Thankfully, there was quite a bit of delay on telegrams back then, so I had plenty of time to queue up my moves. So Battlefield 6 is out, as many of you...
I believe I have shot you.
Yes, I'm terribly sorry. I appear to have inserted a bayonet where the sun doesn't shine.
Stop.
Yes.
Cannons were quite laggy back then.
Yes. I am still
sorry.
quite... Yes. Yeah.
Battlefield 6.
Battlefield 6. So I've only sunk about I would say 1 or 2 hours into this, and just strictly in the multiplayer. But I had a surprisingly good time with it. I mean, generally speaking, anything that vaguely smells of competitive shooting, brings me out in hives just because I am frankly rubbish at it. And I just generally don't find it a massively enjoyable experience. It just makes me feel very bad about myself. But the good thing about Battlefield 6 is, much like previous Battlefield entries, the class-based gameplay, and they've really, I think, upped their game here, because I think one of the things about Battlefield 6 is that Vince Zampella, he of original Call of Duty and Titanfall fame of Respawn, they've been brought on to really get the mechanics right for Battlefield 6, and it's got a really satisfying, in the same way that Destiny's got a very satisfying feel to its gunplay. They've really nailed that with Battlefield 6. It's Battlefield ass Battlefield. It's big maps with lots of people, and you're all trying to take objectives, or if you're like your average member of the internet, completely unable to realize that you should play the objective and wind people like me, Jamie, and Kev up as we desperately try to play the objective and make up for the Magpie-esque sensibilities that people were playing with. I probably need to sink more time into it, but I had a good time playing the support and the engineer classes, which is probably where I'm at my happiest, where I can make numbers go up and make myself feel useful by doing things other than shooting people in the face. It's got a much deeper class-based system, it feels like. There's lots of ways you can kind of customize your classes now. There seems to be a bit more variety in like the gadgets and the guns that each class has, which is, although it does have a very long and grueling grind, I've heard, in terms of unlocking those all of those goodies, but it's still Battlefield. It still has, and I know it's a cheesy marketing line, it still has those Battlefield moments that frankly no other game can do, where you've parachuted out of a helicopter and somehow stick a landing grenade 3 people in the face and look like a legend, which no other game can really help you do, or comedically die as you're driving around in a buggy, somehow fall off it and run over yourself. True story. Which of those happened to me? Clue, it wasn't the first one of those. It's a lot of me running myself over with a buggy.
I did see back in the beta test, there was a pretty popular video going around where someone's in a jet of some kind, and there's they crashed their plane into another plane and ejected themselves, and then shot the pilot of another plane and then got in before they'd hit the ground and then flew off. And I was like, that's
Battlefield.
I don't know the degree of autism that goes into trying to work that whole system out. I could not be that precise.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, if you're anything like me, I mean, I'd love to be able to reliably pull that sequence of moves off, but generally speaking, I just kind of go into a blind panic and try and press all the buttons whenever I'm being shot at. So that's probably where I'm going wrong.
Footage of the multiplayer does definitely help sell this game. I did see footage of a tank being carried by a jet shooting down other jets and helicopters while being on the back of the plane.
I'm guessing that might be a bug, but
I'm not entirely sure that one should work, but it was still funny. But I heard the one thing that disappointed me a bit, and that I'm not sure I would necessarily invest in like the amount of money I'd have to get into this game. But the one thing that absolutely made that decision 100% for me was the fact that I've heard that the single player campaign is severely lacking, which I think I would need to get my money's worth out of this game. I need that to be a bit more.
That's going to be my self-imposed homework potentially ahead of the next time I'm on the show, is actually sink some time into that. But
it doesn't sound like you have to sink much time. That's part of the problem, I think. But
the multiplayer is good fun. I mean, it's one of those things. If you're playing with your mates, it is a giggle, definitely. And I've just conditioned myself not to load the end of match scoreboard up because that's frankly depressing reading. I mean, the one thing that I think I was a bit surprised about, it doesn't feel to have the same amount of out-and-out environmental destructibility to it. It feels that it's not as an interactive a sandbox as it perhaps used to be. It kind of feels like you can only blow certain things up now, as opposed to everything being completely destroyable. I don't know. It might just be my feeling for it, but I think Skill Up mentioned that as well. That it seems to be some weird guardrails around what you can and can't explodinate, to use a technical term. Yeah, but I'm kind of
explode
enjoying
the West
it.
Wing of the White House. So
No, it's the East Wing, Tim.
Oh, East
I'll
Wing.
have you know.
Sorry, yeah.
It's the East Wing, but it's going to be very tasteful. And I don't know if there is a Donald Trump hack where you blow the East Wing off a building and then just replace
Build
it
a
with
massive ballroom.
gold-plated tat. I'm not sure if that's an option.
That's
but
coming in
so-
the DLC.
That's in the DLC. So I will try and sink some time into the single player. But yeah, definitely if you're with mates, this is good times. It is very much leading into the live service side of things, perhaps a bit more than previous Battlefield games did. I know there's a season pass, but apparently a lot of the goodies are going to be separate from that. The other thing that I'm quite looking forward to in it is there's this Battlefield 6 portal where
Speedy thing goes in, speedy thing comes out.
Yeah, play with portals.
Yeah, exactly. Speedy thing goes in, speedy thing comes out.
I think
Where
that's called Splitgate,
customizable
though, isn't it?
game modes and maps, which I'm going to be quite interested to see what the community comes up with there, where you can really, in quite granular ways, alter the rule set of the game. Script logic, script AI, kind of layouts and maps. And I've just downloaded there's a kind of a game engine editor that you can download for the PC to put some creations together. So I might have a little tinker about with that for a laugh as well. Seems like it could be good times.
Nice.
So yeah, there we
I've been
go.
tempted by
Battlefield
it,
6.
but I've been tempted, but only because I know enough people that play Battlefield. And I am quite tempted to play the multiplayer, but I don't think I'd commit to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the mindset I go into it with is not, I'm going to win this match. It's like, I'm going to have a laugh and I'm going to dick about and it's going to involve explosives some way.
It's the Battlefront problem. You remember they released the first Battlefront, the first Battlefront reboot on PS4,
Battlefront.
and they went, it's just going to be multiplayer only, and I went, okay, well, I don't really do a lot of multiplayer shooters, but I tried this out. I'll give it a go. I really enjoyed that, and I had like a solid 2 weeks where I really enjoyed that game, and then just dropped off super hard. So I worry if I put down £70 on Battlefield 6, I won't be getting my money's worth.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably enough of us to not take it too seriously, or I think it would be fun. I mean, it sounds like they've got some good stuff on the roadmap as well, like additional game modes coming down the line. Rumors that they're going to be potentially exploring things like a battle royale mode and stuff like that with squads,
with cheese,
which with loads of vehicles and stuff to explodinate. Again,
they trying to make one of those and it failed horribly.
Yeah, but at least this way they can give it a go and they can just back out of it, I suppose.
Fair enough. But yes, Battlefield 6, it's on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. It's out now. Yes. $59.99 if you're on PC, $69.99 if you're on console, and of course it's available on EA Play.
EA Play. Give me money to play the game.
Cool.
I've been playing a game.
Have you?
Playing a game. I've been revisiting a game, kind of. So, back in 2017, those lofty days which reminds me we've been doing this show too long. Back in 2017, I reviewed a little game called Yooka-Laylee, which was a Kickstarter success. It made loads of money, with the promise of bringing back the mascot platformer in the style of a Banjo and Kazooie. In fact, it was a lot of the team behind Banjo and Kazooie that went on to make this game, from Rare to what would they call themselves? It was like something Tonic, Playtonic.
Playtonic, yeah.
Yes, Playtonic Games. So they went on to form that studio. They made a lot of money through Kickstarter. They released Yooka-Laylee. There was a lot of hype for it. It came out, and I don't think it did very well outside of the Kickstarter sales.
Yeah, it was just all a little bit meh. I seem to remember it's like, it seems all right, but
there was a lot of negative press around it from the performance of the game, a lot of open space with not a lot to do, just really negative reviews. And then when I got my hands on it, eventually came to Game Pass, and I played it on Xbox One, and I quite enjoyed my time with it. And I keep meaning to go back to it because, I like a collectathon every now and then, and this is one of those in the N64 style. So they announced Yooka-Replaylee, and I will say that
I see what they did there.
Yeah.
I think they needed to give it a terrible title, because if they called it Yooka-Laylee Remastered or something like that, this game only came out in 2017. I think you would immediately go, why are we getting a remaster of this game or a remake of this game? And I think they need to distance it so it sounds like it's a new game, because otherwise you wouldn't try it and you wouldn't enjoy it. And I've been really enjoying this game. I will say I've been sent a code for this. I've been playing it on PC. Predominantly on Steam Deck, which does degrade the visual style a little bit, but still very, very fun, still very, very smooth. So what you have here is improvements in the gameplay. They've tightened up the controls. They've tightened up the camera, because the camera was a big problem. I think they went a little bit too hard in the let's mimic the N64 style by giving it a rubbish camera. They've up-res the graphics and improved the frame rate, and it's very, very colourful. It pops. It's if you're watching the video now, you'll be able to see like how improved the visuals look. Just very, very, very colourful and eye-catching. So yes, I've been enjoying that.
I have a question,
game itself,
Mr. Coleman.
yes,
just
Tim.
on the graphical style and the upgrade. Is it one of those things where it looks like how you remember the game, or is it close enough in time that you can actually remember it and it looks like a significant improvement?
It's exactly as I thought this is how the game looked, and then I looked up on a couple of screenshots and it's exactly the same. I see no improvement. Luckily they added a feature where you can put it back to the old style graphics. Okay. No, I see it. I see it.
Right, okay.
Obviously, the promo screenshots that they put up back in the day, they're the up-res ones. Like, if you ever want to laugh, go and look up the Far Cry games on Steam and look at the screenshots, and you'll see none of them are screenshots. They're all like super highly
target render.
They're artist interpretation of gameplay footage, like the old Commodore box art back in the day. But yeah, it's kind of that thing. They've gone for, here's the up-res still, and it looks absolutely amazing. And then you play the game, like the colors look washed out, and the frame rate's not great, and it's a bit jagged in places. So they did add that mode in, so you can see what the original graphics look like, which I find pointless but funny at the same time.
I mean, how much of a difference is there? Because I like you, kind of, I very much suffer with the rose-tinted specs, and I think I was watching a YouTube video about Battlefield 6 and kind of Respawn's involvement in it. And it wasn't until they showed footage of Titanfall where I was like, wow, that looks ropey AF these days. But you look back at it, and I remember it being kind of a real visual showcase. So, I mean, how stark a difference is it then between the old visuals and now?
It's more like, I wouldn't say like a HD remaster, because there's clearly been some effort put into it, but it's recognizable to what the previous game was, but it's definitely improved when you look at the two side by side. I probably should have put some side by sides in there. Sorry, I didn't think of that.
That's right.
Yeah, but no, it looks great. So if you don't know what the game is, this is, like I said, it kind of harkens back to the days of Banjo and Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64. It's the open area collectathon. You'll have a hub world. You'll pick up different levels that are done in like giant books in this case, and then that will bring you into a level, and then you go through and you do lots and lots of little side quests and things to find pages or pages for a spell book. So once you've got all the page, yes. So
why
that's
pages?
Because in Banjo and Kazooie, you had to find puzzle pieces, and they were called jiggies. So the pages are pages.
I'm not convinced with that.
I'm not convinced by that either.
I mean, there is a bit of a poking fun as well, because there are page pieces that look like puzzles. So if you get 4 puzzle pieces, it creates the pagey. And they're like little jiggy pages, which are very funny. If you know, you know. But
I don't. And I don't.
Sound that funny to me. Apart from you saying jiggy. Getting jiggy with it, but you know,
exactly.
Getting pagey with it.
I'm liking it.
Get
so
paper
this
cuts,
is
Tim. You've got to be very, very careful.
This is a perfect fit if you like your collectathon games, then playing it on any platform is going to be good. But this is a perfect fit for a handheld. I found this was very excited to have a game on my Steam Deck because I've not been playing my Steam Deck for quite some time, and this works very well on Steam Deck. It's also out on Nintendo Switch 2. There is a physical version for the people that collect those physical games. But yeah, it's done really well.
Or gamies, as they're called now.
The gamies. But yeah, there's active collectibles. The characters have been redone. It's not just a remaster. It's like a polished reimagining of the original game. So it's kind of like if this is the game that should have been made the first time, probably for what was kind of promised out to the fans at the time. I think. And they kind of
you could say that about any Kickstarter, though, couldn't you? To be fair,
maybe, yeah. I mean, they did kind of.
How's that? Who are you doing,
because the first game was to go, hey, this is our Banjo and Kazooie game, and then they made a sequel, spin-off, follow-up to this, where I think it's called The Impossible Layer, and they went, okay, we're just going to make Donkey Kong Country, but like super challenging. And now I'm glad they've gone back and went, okay, let's revisit the first game and let's put it out like a true kind of tribute to a Banjo-Kazooie game, because that's what this is at the end of the day.
I have a question based on what you just said, Mr. Coleman.
Okay.
If they were going to make a sequel to either game, which one would you prefer to see first between the two?
Oh, I would love for Microsoft to stop sitting on the Banjo and Kazooie license and to make an actual. And I know, like Kev's one of them. Nuts and bolts. A lot of people don't like nuts and bolts. I know there are people that do like nuts and bolts. I didn't like nuts and bolts because it was such a departure from what I wanted. And they kind of started off and went, "We're making the game you want. Weird cars and stuff." And there's an argument to say that's a good game, and it is. It's just not the game I wanted. I would like a proper Banjo and 3E or whatever we're calling a third game in that series, but a third actual sequel in that game rather than nuts and bolts. So I would enjoy a new Banjo and Kazooie, but that would mean Microsoft actually doing something with the license and not just sitting on it. It's all right when you can make
loads of crazy vehicles in Zelda, but you don't like it in your Banjo-Kazooies, eh?
I didn't play the new Zelda game. I wasn't that attracted to it.
No,
and I thought I mean, if I get a Switch 2, I might go to it, but I just thought it looked like crap on the Switch, so I never bothered.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel, Coleman.
Well,
Jesus.
I watched the man called Rick playing it, and it's like, wow, this is not good. I will come back to this at a later date when they clearly are going to put this on whatever the next console is, and they did, and it works.
Just like to point out, it sounds like you're doing a lot of man maths and making a lot of pre-excuses for buying yourself a Switch 2, but yeah.
No, or I would have bought one at the start, and it wasn't enough to get me one at the start, and I was thinking about this again the other day. I can't remember what was going to sell me on the Switch 2. There was something.
Was it the number 2?
Yeah.
No, I think it was the Elden Ring.
Yeah. How's that working out for you?
Not great. Anyway, no, this is really good. If you want a collectathon and in the style of a Banjo and Kazooie, then go for it. The improvements have made the game worth it. It is $24.99, which is a good price to be paying for a game like this. It will keep you very, very busy. It's available now on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch 2.
Who and indeed Czar.
I recommend it. And I would have, if I was lucky they sent me the key because I was about to buy it as well. So
don't tell them that. They won't send you any more keys. Let's just try.
They sent it slightly after launch, and I was like, I was really hoping they'd send me a key. All right, I'm going to buy it because I really want to play this game anyway. So it worked out well.
Bad income. So there we go. That's Yooka-Replaylee. So it's PC, PS5, all of the Xbox Series is, and Nintendo Switch 2 out now, 25 quid.
Can I tell you something very funny I found when I was looking around for info on this game?
Okay.
If you go on Steam to buy Yooka-Replaylee, they've done one of those things where they bundle the games to make a double pack discount. I was like, oh, you can get this with Impossible. No, you can get Yooka-Replaylee with Yooka-Laylee, which is completely pointless. Silly Steam. Whatever will you do?
Silly Gabe. Silly beardy man.
Should we do a bit of news?
Let's do a little bit of news. Let's do a little
couple
bit
of weeks
of
before we've
news.
done some news.
I
a hot
know.
minute.
I know. So slap me up with some news. That's what I want. Slap me with it.
Okay.
Slap me with some news.
I know we don't really talk about Microsoft or Xbox or the price increases or the cancellations or the redundancies.
I mean, we missed a lot of very big news to do with it, to be fair.
We did, but we've covered a fair bit anyway in casual conversation, but we've also covered stuff on, because this has been going on for quite some time. But there was a new report that came out this week from Bloomberg, today, in fact, as we're recording, that suggests that Microsoft is pushing its Xbox studios to reach a hefty 30% profit margin, which is
good news, though. Good news. They've raised the price of Game Pass by 50%, so they've only got to do worse by 20%.
Well, that's above the industry average, which is around 20%. So that was reportedly introduced by CFO Amy Hood back in late 2023, which reportedly triggered the mass layoffs, the studio closures, the cancellations of high-profile projects.
That's gone well, then. Well done. I'm sure you'll get your bonus this year, idiot.
You probably will.
Yeah, and I was watching, I can't remember what I was watching now. Was it The Act Man? Or I forget a lot of these YouTubers that I just watch and kind of consume and don't really subscribe to. They just get recommended after so many videos. But there was someone that was just going through like the downfall of Xbox and Game Pass and they,
I think it's every YouTuber in the last couple of weeks, but yeah.
Yeah, but this one specifically, the Game Pass rise, and then they were going through like very well known, like if you go on social media and if you're still on X, and there are some very kind of high profile users that are massive Xbox fans. Like everything they play is Xbox, everything they shill is Xbox. And they've cancelled their Game Pass and they've started getting rid of their consoles, and it's quite insane to watch. So they've made a lot of moves, and not a lot of it seems to be paying off. We've had the price increase of not just Game Pass, but the consoles themselves. We've seen several outlets over in the US that have stopped stocking Xboxes, but are still stocking PlayStations and Nintendo Switch 2s, and Nintendo Switches, in fact.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah, the cancellation of several studios like Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, and The Initiative. The Initiative, I believe they were created for working on a new project and then cancelled and broken up. It's insane. Everwild got cancelled. Perfect Dark's reboot got cancelled after years in development. Like, they poured a lot of money into a lot of stuff and then got rid of it. It's kind of like the gaming equivalent of Warner Brothers over the last few years. So, Warner Brothers.
Well, they haven't put themselves up for sale just yet, to be fair. So,
yeah, craziness. But yeah, now we know why. Trying to hit this lofty 30%.
Rather than red rigging their consoles this generation, they're red rigging their dev teams. Brilliant. Well done.
I mean,
it's insane.
Do you think there's any way back from this for Xbox, or do you reckon this is a long form way to kind of give themselves an excuse to get out of the hardware business and just quote unquote make everything an Xbox?
See, they've said that they're going to make new hardware, even though the industry insiders have said that there's no new console coming, and I can't see how they would go to make a new console after all the changes that have been made. This generation has been a very bad generation for Xbox, and considering, previous, it was the Xbox One, which started off horribly running into a brick wall. This generation...
That was a failure compared to the 360, and the 360 was one of the biggest recalls of a console ever as well. So, like, they haven't been on a good run. But they were, I thought they brought back a lot of goodwill in this generation, and they seem to have really stuffed their foot in their own mouth and undone a lot of that good work. And I don't see to what aim, and I don't see for what purpose. But they've doubled down this week. Sarah Bond was saying they're going to be bringing out another console in the next generation. But, like, if they ruin Game Pass now, I don't see how that's going to be feasible for them in the future.
I mean, I think the problem I was trying to get to is when we started off this generation, they were like, well, we've got no Xbox. There's no exclusive to this platform games for the first year. It's all games from Xbox One that have been up-resed and cross-platform and a lot. But, you still had your Game Pass. You had your improvements on the consoles. Still worked out all right. And then as we went on, like the whole fiasco with Halo getting pushed back and then released and being bad and pushed back to make improvements. Like if you remember the stuff where they revealed the story and the weird grunt face that looked like an ape and all that stuff. Just a lack of exclusives, and then I know a lot of doesn't bother me none, doesn't bother us very much, but a lot of like the hardcore Xbox fans saw a lot of the multi-platform stuff as a big slap in the face. Not a problem for us. It's good, and not a problem for Microsoft, as it's shown where we pointed out before. Top 10s this year have shown like 8 or 9 of the games all being Xbox re-releases. So,
but it's giving people less and less reason to want to own an Xbox. The other thing I can't understand is that S is the best-selling console from this generation between their consoles. And they're talking about, when they were talking about there being, another generation of consoles, they're talking about going with just the premium version. And I can kind of understand having one console. That kind of makes sense. But at the same time, like, how are you not looking at the thing that was successful in this generation and ignoring that for what's going forward? I don't quite get their approach at the moment. It just seems very confused.
The only reason I bought an S is because at that period, everyone was getting they were getting their Series X's and their PlayStation 5s, and there was gigantic stock issues everywhere. I was like, oh, you can get an S. I'll get an S. It was a bridging gap. Apparently, I really needed to spend some money on a new console to get some improved frame rates, and that was the one I picked at the time. I will say, though, if you're looking for something to do with your old Xbox Series X or Series S, they make very good MAME boxes. So if you want to install MAME on them.
Ooh.
Yes.
Is that, I thought they patched that out, that sideloady nonsense that you could get away with.
If you get a developer's license on Microsoft, which is free, it's the setup of the license and installing the dev mode on the console, it's a bit finicky, but you can do it in like a couple of hours, and then setting up the actual MAME box is pretty easy. I'll double check you can still do that, because I did that on my old Xbox One. So I'll check you can still do that on the S and the X. But yes, and I will say, kind of topping it off as well, the ROG Ally thing, where they seem to be putting a lot of effort into the ROG Ally in the build up and kind of rebranding the cloud games to play anywhere and trying to make sure more of those games are available. And then the handheld comes out and it's like, oh, it's a ROG Ally Xbox, but it's not an Xbox because it can't play Xbox games. It can only play PC games. You might as well just get any handheld Windows PC.
It seems very bad. Also, they were quick to come out and say, oh, well, we didn't set the price point, by the way. That was all Asus. So
£1,000.
Yeah. And
£1 million.
It sounds like it's not a very easy thing to do for, like, I'm sure you two would be fine. I'm sure I could get your help in doing it. But it doesn't sound like your average consumer on the street could easily get it running like Game Pass games easily and well, necessarily. Like,
no,
it doesn't sound like it's as simple a thing as it should be for a device that they are marketing with the word Xbox on it.
Yeah, well, to me, it's a bit like kind of with one of the real successes of the Steam Deck was that it took something that is ostensibly a bit scary. I mean, Tim, it's got you essentially playing PC games in a very seamless way, and it sounds like the way they were badging it, and kind of my expectation of the device was that it was going to be a kind of like, it was going to be literally like a portable Xbox and have the same look, feel, fit, finish. But it really doesn't, from what I've heard. So I think they've dropped the ball on that one myself. Yeah. But or dropped the box, so to speak.
And apparently that has made them cease.
Next news item, please.
But that's sorry, I was just saying, that's also apparently they've stopped making and developing a handheld Xbox behind the scenes. And if this device stopped them doing that, I don't understand their approach. Like, I just think they were much better off doing that. But hey,
they
done messed up. Next news item.
Would you like an update over the legal battles between Sony and Tencent over the light of, is it Mortrium?
Mortarium? Light of Motoram. Light of Motoram.
I've realised I've never heard it said out loud.
No. Or Holy Crap, otherwise known as Holy Crap. Is that a new Horizon game? Because it looks like it is a copy of one, allegedly.
Yeah. So since we spoke about this last, Sony's taking Tencent to court to say, hey, you're
Good.
clearly ripping off our game, Call of Duty, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Horizon Forbidden West, and Horizon Call of the Mountain, the Horizon series, if you will. And they had some good points. It's a game about mechanical wildlife being battled from a young red-haired female protagonist in a kind of overgrown end of days sort of type game. And they've been very careful to go through all their Steam listings and what have you. I don't know if it's on Steam, actually. I think it's on Epic. But they've gone through all their listings and scrubbed all the screenshots to remove the similarities and make it look a bit more less favorable to the comparisons in their screenshots going forward.
Right.
It's got to the point where Sony are like, we're not dealing with this. Since the lawsuit was filed in July, Sony have called their defense nonsense, where Tencent said that they were drawing from well-hidden, well-trodden genre tropes. They said it's nonsense.
The Horizon Zero Dawn helped define.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're saying that the damage is already done. I mean, they had 3 games to pull from, Dan. That is a trope now.
Yes. And therefore, three games enough to make a genre.
Games.
Developers at Guerrilla Games also have weighed in and said that they were shocked by the similarities in visuals, music, and the world design. And the thing is as well,
Didn't they hire one of the composers to essentially make a sound-alike, the composers from Horizon, to make a sound-alike soundtrack?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I will say as well, when we reported on this initially, it was, you were very hard-pressed to find an article that didn't report on this and use words like rip-off Horizon rip-off, copyright skirting Horizon, like lots of phrases like this that could be used in a court of law to go, Anyway.
But fun fact, an anagram of Light of Motoram is algorithm motif. And I think there's some there's something in there. Other anagrams include things like Amigo Froth Milt, which sounds like a horrible venereal disease. Got a touch of the Amigo Froth Milt. It's not nice.
Wonderful.
Lovely.
Wonderful.
Lovely. I thought I'd just put that out there. That out
I'll give you a bit more. I mean, we'll report more on this law. I am really interested in this case, so I want to see how this progresses.
Fine.
But moving on, Horizon Zero Dawn, we'll keep on that news. If you remember, there was a Horizon Zero Dawn movie in the works that we've heard very little about. There was a post over on thegamepost.com where they were talking about court documents, I'm assuming to do with the aforementioned case between Tencent and Sony, where they discussed the film adaptation, where they're looking for filming in 2026 with a 2027 release penciled in.
Ooh.
That's going to be from Sony and Columbia Pictures, funnily enough.
That could be quite good fun.
Makes sense.
And all I can say is after Uncharted and Gran Turismo, I'm sure everyone is, and Until Dawn, I keep forgetting that exists. I'm sure everyone is champing at the bit, waiting for a Horizon Zero Dawn film
I quite
adaptation.
like the Uncharted film. I
like the Uncharted film.
but I
No one else does.
It was fun.
I mean, I think the problem with the Uncharted film is just that Tom Holland just looks absolutely nothing like any realization. There's a big disconnect with that.
Yeah.
But
the problem they have is they went, okay, so we're going to use Tom. Apparently, the director saw Tom Holland in one of the Spider-Man films. Went, yep, that is my Nathan Drake, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. I see what you're doing. Young Nathan Drake, younger than he is in the video games. You're going to build him up. Like longevity is here. What we're doing here. We're going to get a series of games. So then their first film, they went, let's mash up all the games into one and get through all the main story beats. I mean, spoiler alert, the game ends on a cliffhanger to show that Sam's rotting in a jail somewhere to be freed for the next movie. Yeah. So But the majority of the visuals of that first film are taken straight out of Uncharted 3 and 4.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a mashup. Did you guys see as well, talking of movie adaptation, or in this case, a series adaptation of video games, did you see that Twisted Metal had arrived on BBC? I don't know if you...
Micro?
No, I hear it's really good, though.
I watched the first couple of episodes. It is fun. It's not like gonna be particularly brilliant, but it's okay. It's entirely watchable. We'll watch the rest of it at some point, basically. But it seems alright.
Splendid.
Sweet Tooth's body, Sweet Tooth's voice is Will Arnett, as everyone knows, Lego Batman and Arrested Development. But the body is wrestler Samoa Joe, also known as the voice of King Shark in the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
A career highlight of any self-respecting person, I think we'll all agree.
He's also in Like a Dragon, Let's Be Pirates and Have a Fun Game. I forget the actual name of that. It's a very silly title.
Yes. Right. I've got to hurriedly, because my door is apparently about to go, thanks to an Amazon man.
Apologies.
So what
Amazon man took your door?
Yes, he took my door. It makes delivering the packages easier and just makes it easier for the criminals while they're nicking all of the things from my porch to just nick the stuff in the wrestler house as well.
Amazon man took your door, dude. That really tied the house together.
Yeah. Such is the structural integrity of the 1930s house. Probably true. Anyway, there are places on the internet that you should go. And one of those places is bigredbarrel.com/store, where you can buy things that you can buy things at a store. It's revolutionary. Wow. Not only can you buy things, you can buy things with my face on it. That's right. My face, your wallet, in a smorgasbord of apparat-based goodness, you can own several things with my face on it and wonder, why did I do that? Why? I miss having money. I've got all this stuff with Dan's face on it, and I'm not sure how I feel about it.
You're doing an even worse job of selling your face than normal, Dan.
That's all right. But the good news is there are many better things available at bigredbarrel.com/store that don't involve my face, and I thoroughly recommend you buy those.
But why would you buy them
awesome
if they didn't have Dan's face on them?
Yeah.
Well, because some of them are actually quite good.
Okay.
Just going to put that out there. Quite good.
BigRedBarrel.com/store. Go there and spend money with reckless abandon.
Tim, Tuesday is a Tuesday, and I can see you typing in the agenda because you forgot to do it earlier. What is happening this Tuesday?
This Tuesday is our Halloween special, and we have a feature game. And if you don't know, each and every Tuesday we have a feature game, and if you play that feature game in the evening, you can win a copy of the game at the end of the evening. And this week's feature game is a game called Dying Message by Oink Games, who make lovely little games in small boxes. And this is a slightly big box for their things. Normally they're very small. This one's slightly bigger. But it looks like a fun little party game. Should be a good one to come along and play. If you play at any point this evening, you can win a copy of the game. If you want more details, you can check the right-hand side of bigredbarrel.com. Hopefully updated tomorrow. Not if you're listening to the live show, but will be in time if you're listening to the general show. But yeah, also...
I'm going to endeavour to get this out before midnight now.
Yeah, there'll be more details on meetup.com. Search for Tabletop Tuesday on meetup.com and join the over 2,200 members we have there. Or just come along to the Loading Bar in Stoke, Newington this here Tuesday and join us to play Dying Message on our Halloween special.
And remember...
Oh, go on.
And remember, as ever, Tim loves it. When you go up to him...
Don't listen to Dan. Dan's a liar.
Stroke the side of his face and go, I want you to be my Amigo Froth Milt. He loves it when you do that. Amigo
Froth. Got some sexy music on the board for this moment.
One Dan lies, the other Dan never tells the truth.
Loading Bar. No, Tabletop Tuesday, the Loading Bar in Stoke, Newington. Be there to play Dying Message for the spooky Halloween edition of Tabletop Tuesday.
Also,
spooky laughs.
just to make it extra scary, Tim will just be showing up in a pair of budgie smugglers as well. So that's
No.
your Halloween treat.
Ooh, budgie
Ooh,
smugglers.
is it a banana or is it something else? Am I pleased to see you or am I not pleased to see you?
Mickey B says,
Right.
I missed the live with a crying emoji face, and I wanted to say, hey, don't worry, buddy.
Or,
you can just rewind
yes,
it, or you can wait until the high quality version comes out. But either way, you should
There's a
definitely like
high
his
quality version of this. Christ,
There's a
AI is
high
coming for our
quality
jobs.
version.
Jesus
I think you
Christ.
say higher quality just to, just for legal purposes, Coleman. You can't promise
polish
high
it.
quality and
You
and go
can't
and
polish
deliver
it.
If
this
the audio's
slop.
improved and the visual's improved, that makes it a high quality version.
Higher
Alrighty.
quality, not
Higher
high.
quality.
If you've enjoyed this high quality episode of BRB UK, then you can find more content over at bigredbarrel.com. That's the website that hosts this here show, along with many other things. Go there, check things out, and be sure to click the social media icons that are on there. Find us on all the different platforms. You can find us at Big Red Barrel pretty much everywhere, including YouTube, where you should give us a like and subscribe and comment on our videos and
Smash
say
that
cool
like
things
button
like,
and
I
stuff.
love that
Smash
BRB UK.
it.
Those guys
Smash
are some
it.
cool dudes. And be sure to check us out on Discord. You can chat with us there. We talk. We say things back to you. They're pretty good. I like doing that. Weird conversations over on BRB UK where someone went, yay, the return of the chapters. And I've been
Wait,
putting
what?
chapters on every single episode for years since someone requested we put chapters on the episodes. What the hell's been happening where the chapters haven't been showing up? More than one person confirmed this, so I guess something went wrong with platform players everywhere. So, hey, apparently the chapters are back. They never went away. I didn't stop putting them on there. It's a part of the process that I do in the editing that adds to the time that I've been doing each time. I'm a bit annoyed it didn't go through. Anyway, Discord.
But the good
chat to
news is
us.
Coleman is totally over it and fine with it, by the way. He's
fine.
totally over
He's
it.
okay. Hasn't
I was
scarred
there
him for
having to-
life.
I was there at a Diwali party with the family, and then this started coming from Discord like, what? I'm losing it. Explosives and explosive Coleman. Yes,
I hope you had a
bigredbarrel.com/Discord.
happy Diwali.
It
I
was
hope
a
you
lovely
did too.
time, had by all. Lots of fireworks and food. That is everything.
It is. You're right.
It
You're
is.
not wrong.
It is.
So that means we need to wrap this sucker up. And to wrap this sucker up, there's a couple of the last things we need to do, like reminding you. I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
I've been whatever the clunge flap froth thing was Dan said earlier, but I forgot the name of it.
I never said clunge flap froth. That is far
Yeah,
worse than anything else
I
I've
can
ever
remember
said.
it. I'll tell you what.
I did not say that.
I've
did
been
not say-
I've been
I've been
Smash Soul,
very
the man who
caref-
says it
very
is me, the
careful.
one who twists Mr. Gibbons' arms.
I've
Dr.
been
Gibbons,
very
by the way.
careful not to combine the word froth with flange or clunge. Thank you very much.
I don't know. You said a thing. It stuck in my head, but not enough, apparently.
Right, I'm just looking at what there's. Oh my god, there's terrifying. I've just stumbled across
Dan, your door.
What?
Dan,
I'm on an anagram
door.
to go.
Your door's about to be
Dan.
stolen.
This is true. All right, that's a good point. Right, we are gonna go. Thank you so much for coming along. We should be back next week, and hopefully you will too. So until then, all that's left for me to do is to say thank you, dear listeners, and until next time, toodle bye.
We're touching skin to skin. The bodies that we're in, we're feeling everything. We're only human. 'Cause superheroes can save us all in the end. We'll break away within. We're only human. Emotion running through our veins. Heartbeat. Love is making waves.
You and your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to bigredbarrel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, bigredbarrel.com.
Okay.
So instead of like roaming around the environment in in any direction, you're scrolling up the screen in a kind of Arkanoid style alley or alleyway or however you want to kind of refer to that.